All right, so I fell in love with learning bento boxes about a year ago when I was introduced to them. They're innovative, visual, interactive, instructional tools that have each little compartment like a bento box for learning and also to show off your learning. So let's look at an example. In this example, it's about cell functions, and the students first watch a video. There's a couple other videos to watch. They read and answer this from CK12, and then they go to the next slide to show off their learning. And they have to find a picture and define each one of these terms. And they put the pictures over here. Let's dive deeper so you can really understand this. So, this idea comes from Amanda Sandoval, excuse me, Amanda, where they would on Instagram, people would show off books they've read by taking these very aesthetically pleasing images of the book and objects that represent different parts of the book. So that's kind of where the idea comes from book bentos. And so she took this into her classroom and had students show off their learning about books by taking pictures of the book and then items that represented different things from the book. And here is, then this one has a template, which I will show you in a moment. So why she asked why just stop at book bentos? Why couldn't they show their understanding of different topics through this same format? And you could do it with photos they took or with digital scenes. So here is an example of they're showing off with a photo and explaining what each one of these means by putting these little circles on the object and then explaining. Here is one that is made through digital. So they didn't take pictures of this, they found images to represent their learning. And so these are a bunch of different examples of learning about different important figures. Uh, so you can have the students, maybe they've already studied it, you're just going to have them make the bento, or you can give them information to learn about the topic and then make their bento. And they talk a lot about symbolism. So you'd be teaching your students about symbolism and what the different objects represent. So let's go on. So you can look into that manual. It's got lots of templates and examples in that manual as well. So the first thing you need to do is identify your learning goals or standards. So what is this learning bento box going to teach? And throughout this course, all of my examples are going to be about the 4th of July holiday. Um, if you know me, you know I love holidays. So this one, you have different, but you choose your own learning goal. There's different blueprints, which are templates that you can use. I'm going to use this particular one. Um, it has a place for them to learn about the topic. And then it has, these are just different colors. I would probably delete the other slides once I chose which color I want to use. There is other blueprints that you can use. So this one is a Google drawing. It only has a place for them to put their different symbols, and then you'd put in the questions. You could have another place on there where they'd learn about it through video or whatever it might be. And then this is a book bento, but with this template, you could totally remove the book part of it and make it learning about any topic. This is a little more in depth where you'd have them read the book, watch this video, review the vocab, but you could put these links to watch this video, read this article, go to this activity, things like that. So this is a little bit more designed for a book, but you could definitely redesign this for any topic. So I'm going to use this one and I'm going to click use template. And now it's my own. And I could go through and make this really 4th of July themed. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me as I redesign something, but insert your topic like the 4th of July or whatever it might be. I could totally even remove this slide. At first, I'm going to have the students learn about the topic and then they would show off their learning on these different learning bento box slides. So, summarize the key components that make up the 4th of July or Independence Day. All right. So the next step to building a bento box, once I've selected my blueprint, is to gather all of the sources that I am going to need for the students to look at as they go through this bento box. So I've already done this prior to the video. I went to Brain Pop and found a Declaration of Independence video, ABC Clio, which is a huge database for social studies that the state provides about declaring independence. I found this one on Discovery Ed about the Constitutional Convention, and it also has an activity for them to do. And then I found a Nearpod on Independence Day. So I'm going to put these all into my bento box. So I'm going to start off with the Declaration of Independence, Brain Pop. I could assign this, but I'm just going to copy the URL and put it right here and link, and they would watch this video. Then they're going to go to this ABC Clio, and with ABC Clio, as long as they are on school district internet, they will have the username and password to automatically allow them in. If they're off campus, email me and I can give you the username and password for students to use in our district. And then we have this one, Discovery Ed. Now, in order for this to work for them to write their response in the Discovery Ed Studio Board, I do need to assign it to them through Discovery Education. That part won't work if I don't. Um, so we'll make it the start date on the 4th of July. There we go. And then the due date sometime after that. All right. There we go. And assign. And because of that, I need to just send them to their own Discovery Education, which they'd have to log in through Clever. So I might just go over and get our Clever portal URL. So which is clever.com/in/ECSD-NV. So if you ever need that, that's our Clever portal. So they would just go to their Clever portal, go to Discovery Ed. So I might need to put that in the directions. And I'm just gonna, there we go. All right. Next, it's not gonna be so much a quiz, but complete this activity. And my font's a little big, so I'll squish that down. There we go. And this is a Nearpod. So in this Nearpod, they would be, this reads it to them. They're learning the word Independence Day. They draw about Independence Day. They look at some images. They have real world connections. 360 images of Independence Day fireworks. Think, pair, shares. So there's lots of things for them to do about, oh, I started over. There's more. Apologize. There's lots for them to do, work with a partner and find pictures about Independence Day. And then they have some practice about Independence Day and complete the sentence, quiz questions, and poll questions. So pretty a lot of different activities to complete. I'm going to click save and exit because I was editing it to get it ready for this. I found this one in the Nearpod library. You can find tons of stuff in there, or you could make your own Nearpod as well. I'm going to teach this, and because they're going to be working on their bento box independently, I'm going to do student paste and I'm going to copy that link. And then I'll put this link in. And now I have the different information, and then they are going to show off what they've learned through these activities by putting these into their bento box. Now, I could do this collaboratively and have a slide for each student in the class, and they could be all working in this slideshow together, and then they'd be able to see each other's work. But I'm going to have them do it independently, and I am just going to use the blue colored box. For some reason, blue reminds me of Independence Day. All right, so you could give them the terms that they need to define and also the symbols. I would probably insert a row above, and then I'd put term and then definition, and make that a little bit smaller. We're going to just adjust some things here so it all fits. We're just going to get rid of that. I could have changed that to Independence Day. This is your bento box. You can design it however you want. You can change the background, however you want to do this. So term, um, need to come up with some terms that they define. You could have them come up with their 6 terms that they learned about. It's up to you. Okay, so I put in their 6 terms for them. You could have them come up with their own 6 terms that they learned about, or 6 terms that you want them to define. Now, just make sure that through their learning that they did actually cover those 6 terms, or that you have previously covered them. And then over here, they would write their own definition to it. And this just gives them some direction on how to build it, so they can delete that box. There is also in this template, it gives directions on how to build. If you want to keep that link there, you could do your own examples, but this just kind of gives directions on symbolism and how to do a bento box and how to remove backgrounds and just how to make them a little bit cleaner. So there is that in this template. What the student would do is they would go to insert an image. They could find one previously, they could search the web, they could take their own photo by their camera, however you want them to insert a symbol for these words. Then they're going to search. Now, you could ask them to be creative and not use the actual term and have to use something related to it. Just for time's sake, I am just going to find um, something that represents Independence Day, and I'm going to put clip art just so it's not photos. And we'll just put a flag in. And this one has a background, so I'm going to remove that. Here we go. And then I can move this number 1 onto the photo. I need to, as it said in the order, send it to the back. So the 1 is on top of the photo. So that's just something they need to know how to do, is right click, order, send to the back each time, so these numbers are able to be on top. And then they'd put their own definition, and then they'd keep going and find the others. You can add more boxes. They've got 8 different things here. You could have more by inserting a row below and have up to 8 terms. You could have, honestly, it's your bento box. You can have as many terms as you want. This is your own design, but that is the basics of designing a learning bento box. I think it's a great activity and it's fun to see what the students come up with for their symbolism.